Well, would you look at that? We get to talk Star Wars, and it's not all dour news. I mean, it's kind of amazing. We get to talk about, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, obviously, and at this point in time, everybody's talked about it, so I'll throw my 2 cents into the ring on this one. But then, of course, we actually get to look forward to a series that people are anticipating enjoying instead of just anticipating bracing for the worst or getting ready for some weapons-grade cringe. It's been a God damn, man, it's been a long time since the consensus on a Star Wars project was, or rather is, oh yeah, we're looking forward to this. And it has a unique release schedule, okay? Because we've had Star Wars projects that have come out before where it just gets batch released, okay? Here's everything, just go to town on that. That's wonderful. You got your weekly release models that ended up biting some people in the ass because, oh boy, who knew how long the cringe would get drawn out for? Take a look last year with the Acolyte for proof of concept on that one. But never before have we seen Andor come out 3 episodes at a time. This is a different release schedule. I can't remember because what was it at the tail end of 2022 when season 1 came out, which is just so wild. But I think they had mini arcs as well, so this could be I don't know, man. Maybe it's a specific Andor thing, but the fact that they're doing this, okay, and it's also going to be 4 years because Tony Gilroy and the staff working behind the scenes, they wanted to have like 5 seasons, but Disney's like, no, okay, you got a successful show that very few of our high-end creatives worked on. Obviously, you got the regular cast of characters signing off on this, otherwise it wouldn't happen at all. Your chief creative officer and your CEO definitely signed off on it. How much they were in the writer's room, how much were they involved with it? Well, we can see the way that, the likes of Mon Mothma was handled in Andor, as opposed to how she was handled in Ahsoka, to just let you know that, oh boy, there's a different stick working in this room as opposed to the other one. But we'll see, because this is the one series that actually gained momentum over time, because with its a tepid response at the beginning, where everybody's like, yeah, it's fine, it might be boring, but maybe I'll come back to it when it's all said and done, and it actually looked like, through good word of mouth, people actually started to watch it, and it actually accrued more watch time over time, as opposed to literally every other project that Star Wars has put out, where it starts off, middlingly, and then it just falls off a cliff. Andor, on the other hand, has only gained in momentum and in reputation in the years since its initial release, so Season 2 is definitely going to be a big step forward, and yeah, that 4 years that ends up getting constrained to 4 different arcs across 3 different episodes each. Don't know how long the episodes are, but I think for the first season, they were, 30 to 40 minutes, of course, and they might have had some extended episodes for the first and the finale, but this is what we're getting. 4 years, more than likely butting right up against Rogue One, because that's where this all leads to. Okay, meaning that there's gonna be little arcs. Okay, little arcs, little self-contained story in an overarching story. So that's pretty cool, and especially if Tony Gilroy and staff had anticipated or aspired towards a 5-season series. At least you can tell all of your remaining stories across 3 episodes each. I mean, it's not ideal, but as he did, as a lot of people say, I haven't watched it. I don't really anticipate watching it. I know a lot of people are going to be covering this second season, so I will be able to absorb it that way, but I've listened to a couple of breakdowns of the first season. I've liked what I've heard. It's just, I don't have Disney Plus. I don't anticipate getting Disney Plus, and no, I'm not going to sail the 7 seas in order to watch it. I'm just going to listen to the coverage as it comes, starting April 22nd, and yeah, the trailer that's out there, oh boy, I don't have it pulled up or anything like that, but if you turn volume down, okay, to get that weird cringe music out of the way, like I don't know what they were trying to do, and this is like a new thing, and it especially rose to prominence with the Acolyte, with your weird pop music, and then just to have tonally odd music over this trailer where it's like, yeah, cool, you're showing a bunch of stuff. Okay, obviously there's an elite party that Cassian Andor does end up infiltrating, which is just kind of the overarching narrative being shown there, and it shows, yeah, a lot of the main characters from Rogue One are coming back for Season 2, even though they were absent for the most part in Season 1. You got Ben Mendelsohn as Director Krennic, which is, he played a Stormer. You also get to have Stellan Skarsgård, old bootstrap Bill Turner. He's running it back one more time And he delivered, honestly, like I've seen the clip before, like one of the best speeches, not just in Star Wars, but in like episodic television that you're likely to ever see. And Andy Serkis, he's going to be in it. That's going to be cool. Like it's an interesting show, right? Because I also talked about the budget before, and if any of those numbers are, to be believed or borne out, there's probably a reason why they wanted to get to the end of this as quickly as possible, because for as much as Disney Plus hemorrhages money, this show and that trailer, it had some very pretty visuals. Okay, it doesn't look like volume slop or just mismanagement. It looks like they spent every penny and put it on screen. Okay, so this could be something. It could be something real good coming out this year. Okay, and it could also be, yes, a sign of bigger and better things to come for Lucasfilm, as once again the rumor mill is kicking up, and as a lot of people have talked about, hell, everybody at this point in time has talked about Kathleen Kennedy. Yep, she's going to be stepping down at the end of the year, and this time around, okay, this isn't some crack bag rambling online for the 50th time this week saying, oh, Kathleen Kennedy, no, she's out. No, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they acquired power behind the scenes. They're going to push her out. No, she was banned from being on the set of The Mandalorian. Nope, she's not allowed. She's on her way out. Okay, her contract's going to be up at the end of the month, and yep, no, she's not allowed to come back in. And hell, I seen her leave on Friday, but unfortunately she came back on this Monday. But this Friday, this is going to be the one where she doesn't come back, okay, until Tuesday, because it's a long weekend. But this time around, guys, she is finally fired. Bob Iger has finally had enough. He's seen the South Park episode. He's seen how many people were laughing at Lucasfilm, and he's not going to stand for it anymore. No, Kathleen Kennedy is going to be able to gracefully bow out in Star Wars Celebration, I would imagine, right? Because as it stands right now, maybe that has changed by the morning. I kind of highly doubt that. Disney doesn't like anybody, forcing their hand when it comes to this stuff. So I would imagine that this will probably be, because I was also thinking, and we've been talking about this for a while, Star Wars Celebration coming around in Japan in April, on and around, I think a little bit before the release of Andor. Okay, so they're going to want to set the stage for the rest of the year. But what are the real big announcements, right? Like they can come out and say, oh yeah, we got all of these other projects, and they can announce another round of movies that are never going to see the light of day. Rian Johnson's trilogy, Taika Waititi, Patty Jenkins, is she on or is she off when it comes to a Rogue Squadron movie? Who knows at this point in time? Are they going to wheel out old Daisy Ridley because she has jack shit else to do, and then just to allow her to come and see the cherry blossoms this time of the year? I hear that they're wonderful, but I guess the big news, and given the fact that it's Star Wars Celebration, is to properly give Kathleen her flowers and just gloss over the fact that she is the worst Hollywood executive in history. I mean, like, this is great news. This is great news for Star Wars fans, for Indiana Jones fans, hell, for Willow fans, because she has systematically destroyed every single franchise that Lucasfilm, minus like Howard the Duck, that she could possibly destroy. Indiana Jones, well, you've seen it. Okay, you've seen the knock-on effect with the Great Circle. Like, nobody wants to get involved with a franchise whose most recent cinematic entry was the Dial of Destiny, bro. Like, if not for the Marvels, the biggest flop of 2023, and that includes The Flash. Okay, holy Christ. And then of course Star Wars, we'd talk about cinematic flops right there. All we can do is just opine over the ratings, because their last movie outing, their last cinematic outing was in 2019 with the rise of Palpatine. It's all a mess. It's all a absolute catastrophe. But this isn't simply the work of one flawed woman. This is a group effort, okay? This is all hands on deck. So this is why, okay, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, being fired, okay, just gracefully bowing out, having a year of celebration to just admire, the work that she has done since 2012, since Disney bought it from George. However they want to spin this, so that, a few years from now, then they can start to properly say, boy, she was just a glorified coffee fetcher and a total idiot when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, once again, trying to force women into every single franchise that they possibly can, trying to make Star Wars a girl brand, even though back when Star Wars was really cooking, there were girl fans of Star Wars, mostly because they liked it for what it was, not what Kathleen Kennedy wanted it to be, doing the same thing to Indy, doing the same thing to Willow, for Christ's sakes. Like that ill-fated show. That is the one W that she can take away from this, okay? For as as bad as that Willow show was, they were like, nah, we can't have that on Disney Plus anymore. Okay, like, we got to get rid of that. We got to decanonize it. We got to just make it obsolete. Like, it's lost media out there. I'm sure it's probably out there on the high seas, but outside of that, man, you cannot get that one singular season of Willow. It's gone. It's destroyed. There's a lot of people that also think that's what should happen to a lot of those Star Wars shows, but there is nothing, okay? And I'm trying to be as fair as possible, sort of, or at least as honest as possible. What is in a better position now, under the umbrella of Lucasfilm, since Kathleen Kennedy took over? It's not the extended universe, because that all got decanonized. That's all Legends now. Okay, cool. So you went and chopped off your nose to spite your face, so you could go ahead and rewrite canon and cherry pick because you didn't want to pay royalties. I think that's the going understanding right now. Okay, so you could go ahead and say, oh yeah, we like that Plagueis guy. Okay, so he can be in the Goon Cave out there on unknown planet. Fantastic stuff. Or everybody likes Thrawn, right, from the Timothy Zahn run, right? Like, everybody likes him. Well, now he's just a coping dickhead with a scoliosis back and an Elon Musk disposition. You like him? You like the fact that he loses every encounter that he has, and he spins it as we won the day. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic stuff, right? There's nothing that is better off thanks to Kathleen Kennedy. So yeah, justifiably fired or justifiably retires. Good for her. But you take a look at the replacements, man. It's just a bench of idiots. You think Dave Filoni, the man who's hell-bent on making Ahsoka Tano the main character of Star Wars, you think he's going to do a better job? The guy who has overseen all of that shit. All of it. The Andors and the Acolytes. He overseen and approved all of those scripts. You think he's going to do a better job? Jon Favreau, what about him, who wants to try to shoehorn in his own personal allegories to the Mandalorian? You think Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be a real crowd pleaser when it comes around next year? I don't think so. Not one bit. Maybe Kathleen just wants to hightail it out before Star Wars gets back to the theaters and does Marvel's numbers. Maybe that's her big plan. Or maybe this really is all for naught and it's just another rumor that everybody's biting on. But like I said before, this comes from at least a little bit more of a reliable source. After more than a decade in a galaxy far, far away. Not really. Yeah, theoretically things are set in a galaxy far, far away, but it very much has, identity politics from a modern audience, is charting a course towards retirement. Kathleen Kennedy, the Lucasfilm boss, has told associates she plans to retire by the end of 2025. A source confirms to The Hollywood Reporter. Puck News reported the news Monday night. Representatives for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm were not immediately available for comment. So yeah, this is just, okay, he said, she said stuff right now. But Puck News, fairly reliable, especially when it comes to the scooper crowd. And yeah, this is about the most reliable account that we have arguably ever seen. Okay, Kennedy joined Lucasfilm in 2012 as co-chair alongside Star Wars creator George Lucas, and a few months later took the reins after Disney paid $4 billion for the company and Lucas exited. Yeah, $4 billion, which we talked about, what was that, midway through last year, that Disney still hasn't recouped the cost of. That's wild, man. You've had the franchise for over a decade and you still haven't been able to turn a profit on fucking Star Wars. Holy shit. She relaunched the franchise, yes, beginning with J.J. Abrams' Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yeah, that was the high watermark, and it was all downhill from there. And reinvigorated the property as a big screen brand. Reinvigorated it for like 10 seconds, and now you ask people who are even fans of The Force Awakens back in 2015 what they think of that movie now. Not exactly a glowing set of reviews you'll receive. Disney released, a Star Wars film every year between 2015 and 2019. Then took a pause. Okay, just a little pause, right? What are we working on? And by the time, the Mando movie comes out, what is that? 7 years, right? Just a little bit of a pause. As Lucasfilm boss, Kennedy held one of the most visible and scrutinized jobs in Hollywood. Justifiably so, because every time that there was something that you could directly tie her to, it was the wrong decision to make. Okay, she fired Chris Lord and Phil Miller, as the directors for Solo: A Star Wars Story in the middle of production. The film went on to be the first Star Wars movie to lose money theatrically. Yes, also sidelined Rogue One Star Wars Story director Gareth Edwards, replacing him with Tony Gilroy, who was brought in to oversee the reshoots. Yes, the film became a billion-dollar hit. Yeah, it was the first film that was released after TFA. But yes, TFA also made $2 billion. Rogue One made $1 billion. And yeah, the other projects were promised that never materialized, such as Rian Johnson's Trilogy. Yes, oh my god, yeah, Game of Thrones showrunners Dave and Dan. Daisy Ridley's upcoming return to Star Wars has been languishing in development since being announced to fanfare almost 2 years ago. Yeah, fanfare, yeah, at a captive audience in her backyard in London. So yeah, no, for sure. But yes, Kathleen Kennedy's storied career includes working with Steven Spielberg and husband Frank Marshall. So yeah, you want to know why she is still in those positions of power all these years later? Yeah, her relationship with the Kingmaker, and then also she fucked her way to the top legitimately. She was, yes, a producer for Raiders, probably fetched, just a damn fine cup of coffee on E.T., Gremlins, The Color Purple, Goonies, Empire of the Sun, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the Back to the Future trilogy. A producer, not a creative, somebody who is a professional gopher. And they decided that she was the right person for the job. Yeah, mostly because she had the most blackmail on the people in power. It's wild, man. It's wild that we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but unfortunately it's not daylight at the end of that tunnel. It's just another train light coming directly at you, and this one, it just happens to have a stupid cowboy hat on. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.